Most people think a steady paycheck is the ultimate security. I've seen it my whole life, and I'll tell you, relying only on a salary can quietly trap you. In fact, it might be the single biggest reason people never achieve financial freedom. Today, I'm going to show you why salary isn't what you think, and what really separates the wealthy from the rest. Let me start with a simple truth that most people don't like hearing. A salary can make your life comfortable, but comfort and security are not the same thing. I've watched this play out for decades. Smart people, hardworking people, disciplined people. Yet many of them reach their 50s or 60s realizing that despite years of effort, they still depend on a paycheck to survive. When the paycheck stops, the fear begins. That's not financial independence. That's dependence, just dressed up nicely. Why salary feels safe, but often isn't. A salary feels safe because it's predictable. Every month, the money comes in, bills get paid. Life moves forward. But predictability is not protection. When you earn a salary, you're placing your financial future in the hands of one employer, one industry, one economy, one decision you don't control. From an investing perspective, that's a dangerously concentrated position. If I own a portfolio that depended entirely on one company's performance, people would call it reckless. Yet millions of people do exactly that with their income and call it stability. The silent deal you're making. When you accept a salary, you're making an invisible agreement. You're saying, I'll trade my time, energy, and skills for money today. That works until it doesn't. Time is finite. Energy declines. Skills can be replaced. The moment you stop working, the income stops. That's the fundamental weakness of salary-based thinking. I understood very early that I didn't want income tied permanently to my physical effort. I wanted income tied to ownership. Why I focus on ownership, not paychecks. I never tried to be the highest paid person in the room. That's a short-term game. Instead, I focus on owning pieces of businesses that could earn consistently, survive bad years, grow over decades. Ownership separates effort from reward. You can work once and get paid forever, or work forever and get paid once. The difference is whether you own the asset or rent your labor. A salary rents you. Ownership pays you. The tax reality most people don't see. Here's something people rarely talk about because it's uncomfortable. The tax system does not favor salary earners. When you earn wages, the government gets paid first. You receive what's left. When you own assets, the rules change. You're rewarded for patience, long-term thinking, and capital allocation. That's why I once pointed out, truthfully, that my tax rate was sometimes lower than my secretary's. Not because she didn't work hard. She worked very hard. But effort is taxed heavily. Ownership is treated differently. You may not like that fact, but ignoring it doesn't change it. Inflation is the real enemy of salary. Inflation doesn't show up suddenly. It creeps. Food costs more. Rent rises. Healthcare becomes expensive. Education costs explode. A salary increase often lags behind inflation. Even when you get a raise, you may actually be losing purchasing power. If your income is not compounding faster than inflation, you're quietly moving backward, even if your bank balance looks fine. That's why saving alone isn't enough. Money sitting still loses value. Money invested intelligently has a fighting chance. Lifestyle inflation, the trap inside the trap. One mistake I avoided my entire life was upgrading my lifestyle just because I could. More income does not require more expenses. Most people treat raises like permission slips to spend more, borrow more, and commit more of their future income. The result? Higher stress, less flexibility, and zero freedom. I stayed in the same house for decades not because I couldn't afford change, but because simplicity gives you control. Control gives you options. Options give you freedom. What I actually believe about jobs. Let me be very clear, because this often gets misunderstood. I do not believe jobs are useless. I do not believe salary is evil. A job can be an excellent starting point, but it is not the finish line. A salary should fund your future, not consume it. Your paycheck should be a tool to invest, to acquire ownership, to build assets that survive you, If your entire financial plan ends with a job, then you don't have a plan, you have a dependency. The mental shift that changes everything. The most important change is not financial, it's psychological. Earners think short term. Owners think in decades. Earners ask, how much do I make this year? Owners ask, how durable is this income over time? That difference compounds more than money ever could. I didn't become wealthy by being brilliant every day. I became wealthy by avoiding obvious mistakes, staying patient, and letting compounding do the heavy lifting. The real definition of security. Security does not come from a company logo on your paycheck. Real security comes from owning productive assets, having multiple income streams, keeping expenses below income, letting time and compounding work. If one income stream disappears and your life collapses, you were never secure, only comfortable. Is salary the problem? No. The problem is believing that salary alone will protect you. The world changes. Businesses fail. Industries disappear. Governments shift rules. Inflation never sleeps. If you don't build ownership alongside income, you're trusting a system that has no obligation to protect you long term. My final thought. A salary can support your life, but ownership can support generations. Work hard, but don't stop there. Earn, but convert earnings into assets. Be patient, but stay intentional. In the end, wealth isn't created by how much you make. It's created by how much you own, how long you hold it, and how wisely you let it compound. Ask yourself this, not once, but often. If my salary disappeared tomorrow, what would still pay me? That question will tell you everything you need to know. If you learned even one lesson today about how to make your money work for you instead of the other way around, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post insights like this every week, showing how the wealthy think, act, and build lasting freedom. Remember, it's not about how much you earn. It's about what you own.